Hey people, we're going live. Mama J here doing COVID Q&A. This is kind of great. Hey B Miller, how you doing? Hey Shay Straker, how you doing? Good to see my friends jumping on. COVID Q&A. Wow. You know, it's been an interesting thing to be at home with my mom all this time and quarantined because I've been losing my mind. I've been cooking. I've been baking cookies. That's what I've been doing, baking cookies. Y'all ask us questions and I'll do my best to answer as I go here. And you just never know. You never know who may show up. You just never know. So the first question that we've had that came in, I love you too, thank you, is how to work on your higher range to create more strength and more fullness. So the first thing that I would tell you is on higher range stuff, one of the first things you want to do is really work way up high in your falsetto. If you want more space in your high-end chest voice, you need to be conditioning your falsetto. And the reason why is because your voice is a very balanced animal. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to your whole voice, not just part of your voice. Most of the time when people are working on high-end range, they forget that they really need to go way up high in their falsetto. It's kind of like having a two-story house. You want to live in both stories of the house, so you want to make sure that you go way up high, and that helps to raise the ceiling, for the rest of what you're doing in your chest voice, and that midsection of your voice, that crossbow that everybody kind of gets hung up on, it actually gives you a little bit more leverage in that area. Working on high-end range helps two things. It helps you develop more literally of your high end. It also helps you to develop better strength going back and forth across your high chest voice range. We have a question here from Anna asking, how do you improve your lower range for females? So your vocal cords are really, some of that's kind of predetermined by the density, the thickness of your vocal cords. If your vocal cords are really, really thin, it's hard to get a deeper voice because it has to do, it's kind of like guitar strings. You know, the big fat guitar string on the bottom is the one that has the lowest sound because it has the slowest vibration. So the people that have the thicker vocal cords, like Barry White, if you know who Barry White was, Barry White had this big, boomy, deep voice, and part of that's because he had big, thick vocal cords, not because he was a big, thick guy, because he was a pretty big man, but he had big, thick vocal cords, and that gives you the lower end resonance. So there is some limitations to how low you can sing or how high somebody's going to be able to go, just based on the thickness or the thinness of your vocal cords. What really matters, Anna, about that is the flexibility of your voice, your vocal cord. Hold on a second. I think we have a special guest. Let me see if I can.
I'm proud of
There he
you.
is. Hey.
You did it.
Okay. Thank you.
Good job.
So, hey, everybody. Surprise visit from guess who?
Hey, guys. I'm honored. I just want to say I'm honored to be on your live. You are a living legend.
Hey, you're a living legend, and thank you for being so sweet. You know, I was just talking to folks about how to improve their lower range and higher range, and then warm-ups and cool downs, and you've been so gracious to let everybody know that you're a warming up, cooling down man, right?
That's right. Yeah,
There you
it's
are.
yep. Your vocal cords are a muscle, and they need to be worked out like any other muscle.
So can you tell people about your high end range, because I think everybody remembers when you had that sweet high end voice and all of a sudden your voice dropped and we had that big gap in the middle and you had to really work to get it going back and forth across there, didn't you?
Absolutely. There's a lot of what you and I did was the ones that really helped was the transition from
Yeah. Motorboat sounds
motorboat sounds help a lot, and
okay,
so that helps with the
trills.
transition from the low to high. So you and I would do those quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you married a woman who can put up with all your crazy sounds, because I know you still make all those.
It's absolutely true. Sometimes I drive her crazy, but she knows exactly what it's for.
Yeah, and it makes your voice strong. And man, just speaking of that, warming up and cooling down, like what you just did, the motorboat sound and the tongue trills.
Hmm.
That's kind of all part of keeping your voice healthy, but the conditioning on a regular basis. I mean, we all know that, before you walk out to sing or before you go do a tour, and let me just say that when everything opens back up, I can't wait to see this next tour for you. But
Thank you.
bottom line is, and I think millions of other people would say the same thing, but
Thank you.
you are staying in athletic vocal shape to get to that point, yeah?
Thank you. Yes, yes,
So
absolutely.
can you talk about, like, do you do your exercises every day? Do you do them every morning? Do you do them before you walk in to do the recording in the booth and stuff?
It's a great question. I do vocal warm-ups every time I go into the booth to record a song.
Yeah.
And on days off, I'm constantly humming and hawing and warming it up.
Humming
But
and hawing.
but I yeah, I think there was a season there where singing comes so natural to me, and
Yeah.
it doesn't for some people. And I don't think I realized that when I was young, so I didn't really understand the necessity of warming up. And it's the same thing for a runner who stretches
There you go.
before they go and
Yeah.
they do a run. And so I had to really, in order to sustain my, because when I was on tour during the Never Say Never days, during the My
Yep.
World days,
Yep.
it was really difficult because I was young and I wasn't disciplined, and I was yelling and I was screaming. And that caused me to lose my voice constantly. And it was a hard challenge for me to, take care of my voice at that age because of, I just wanted to have fun. But one thing that you always told me is I gave up normal when I decided to accept this
You're,
calling that God's given me. And so,
yeah, yeah.
uh, with that being said, I just think when you've been given an opportunity and a platform, it's our job to steward that
Woo.
wisely, And so with
How
that,
much do I love you right now? How much do
with
I love you right now for what
a
you're
lot,
saying?
a
But
lot,
I do
a
because
lot.
you're speaking the truth to people, and I tell people all the time when success happens at the level that it does, it's like being hit by a freight train. And so
Right,
all the training, all the things that we were doing, even before you went on tour, I think you were 11 or 12 when I first met you in December 2008 or 9. Anyway, bottom line was a whole lot of that was ahead of time. So at least when you got to the place to where the freight train hit you, you were in that shape to be able to recover as much as you could with puberty. And then past that point, you were able to really do the rest of the work to strengthen your voice to where it's at now. Yeah.
right. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's just a level of maturity you hit to realize, I'm also super competitive, and in order to be the best, you have to put in the work, and that
Yep.
goes for training your body, what you put in your body,
Yep.
and how you condition your voice. So
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
Well, you are definitely an excellent example. I always talk about vocal athleticism, and you've become that.
thank you,
I don't know that you knew that going in, but you certainly are that now.
thank you so
And
much.
you're welcome. But I love you for your conditioning, and also for the fact that you're willing to share that stewardship with other people, so they really understand that it's a whole lot of work that goes into it. It's not just,
Absolutely,
hey, I sing because I love to sing. Yes, we do, but it's about taking care of your instrument. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
So
I
what's
just
the
want to say I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that you've taught me. Singing is obviously one thing you're so good at, but just who
Woo!
you are and what you offer goes so much deeper than vocal training and exercises. It's who you are. So I'm
It's the
just
love. It's all
I'm
about
so
the love.
grateful. Absolutely. I'm gonna go eat some dinner with my wife, but thanks for having me.
You hug her neck for me, and you tell her I love her, and thank you for piping in. We love you too.
Absolutely. Okay. Bye,
Bye bye.
guys.
Bye bye.
Okay.
So, okay, that was pretty exciting, but I apologize I couldn't tell y'all he was coming on. I kind of knew he was going to be here, but you know, just the fact that he is that steward, he is a person who's going to really take care of his voice going forward and wants to set a precedence for greatness. And that's exactly what he's doing and what he's done. So when you think that you're tired, or when you think that, you know, you're going to go into a performance and you can just kind of skid through it, make sure that you take the time to warm up. Make sure that you take the time to condition your voice before you get to the gig, before you get to the performance. And in light of that, I want to talk to you about drinking water and staying hydrated, because this is also a really important thing. People think that they can drink water right before they walk out on the stage. You have to really be able to stay hydrated several days prior to that, because if you take a sip of water, it takes 25 minutes to 5 hours for that sip of water to be processed through your body to hydrate your voice. So if your voice is dry right now, and this is one of the things that Justin really had to learn, he was dehydrating himself because he wasn't drinking enough fluids, and then he'd walk out on stage and his voice would get really dry and scratchy. So he had to really learn how to maintain his hydration. A lot of artists do a lot of things that dehydrate them, not just, working out in the gym and doing hot yoga, but also, people smoke, they drink, they do a lot of things. And so making sure that you stay hydrated days before and into the performance is the thing that you need to kind of keep in mind. I want to go back for a second to Anna's question about women being able to sing lower. The way that you can really do that is to darken your tone, like the shade of your voice. We have a more control of that than we do of the actual range or the physical material. So if your voice tends to be higher ended, I would suggest that you learn how to work on your tone and to darken your tone up. That'd be one of the ways that you can sound lower. But everybody's range is kind of based on physiology and then exercise. So that's why I really wanted to concentrate on the exercise part of that. So here's a good question. I can't sing more than 2 songs without getting tired and feeling pain on my throat. This is something that I really want you to think about. If you have pain, any kind of pain in your body, in your throat, you know, pain is an indicator that something might not be right. I would always tell you to take a really, take a step back if something is hurting you or making you feel like you can't continue to sing. Some of the red flags, as far as any kind of vocal problems or real hardcore issues, would be hoarseness. If you're getting hoarse, if you're losing your high end, if you lose your bottom end, if you're missing the middle part of your voice where your voice usually hits from chest voice to falsetto, if you start getting a gap in between your chest voice and falsetto, those are all things to pay real close attention to. If you feel like you need to see a doctor, then you need to go and get strobed and make sure that you don't have any kind of physical damage to your vocal cords. Sometimes it can be swelling, and especially this time of year, it can be allergy related. To be honest with you, the little gold flowers that are everywhere, goldenrod, that's really ragweed. And that's one of the worst allergens for my singers all year, every year. So if you're having difficulty with that right now, part of it could well be allergy related. And so that's what I would tell you, is that it's allergen stuff. But just kind of be careful, make sure that you're warming up and cooling down and taking care of your voice. And if you continue to have problems with that, you want to go see an ear, nose, and throat doctor, specifically an otolaryngologist. That starts with an O, otolaryngologist. That's somebody who specializes in vocal cords, and that's what I would suggest that you do, is to get that checked out by somebody to make sure that you're okay. What do I recommend for a person who wants to start singing? Open your mouth and sing. That's what I would tell you. I always encourage people to start singing. I don't care. I never think that it's too late for anybody to learn. I think if you stop learning, you die. So basically, learning new skills are great. And don't feel like you're late to the game. If it's something that you really love and you want to do, then learn how to do it. I don't think that there's anything wrong with people taking on a new skill set. The older you get, it doesn't matter. So if you love to sing, open your mouth and sing, and find a way that you can learn how to exercise and make your voice stronger. How can I improve my singing while moving around on the stage? So the biggest thing there has to do with your cardio. Cardio is one of the first places I start with my singers because jumping jacks, believe it or not, is one of the best exercises for your heart and your lungs because you're working both chambers of your heart equally at the same time. Jumping jacks are great for my singers. I think putting people on a program of that helps so that you increase gradually. I don't think that you just go out and try to do like 30 minutes worth of that because you could hurt yourself. I don't know many people who do 30 minutes straight, quite frankly, jumping jacks. But start out by, wherever you're at and really work on jumping jacks and your cardio, Danny, so that you begin to increase your oxygenation and also your ability to move around. If you're a dancer and you're doing a lot of choreo, your cardio is going to matter equally as much to your dancing and moving around as it is to you controlling your voice. So working on jumping jack, jumping rope is great. Burpees, a lot of my guys do burpees, girls too. And then underwater swimming is a great cardio exercise to get your lungs really up and rocking. So any of those things that you can do to add into your vocal regimen and do them regularly. People think, okay, I'm going to do jumping jacks before I walk out on a stage. No, you need to do jumping jacks every day as a part of your cardio regimen. Riding bikes, doing spin cycles, a lot of people are doing those, but I still think the jumping jacks are one of the main things. Here's a really great question. Is there a difference between just a good singer and a good artist? Yeah, actually there is. You can look at a lot of those shows right now that have really great singers, but that doesn't necessarily make those singers have sustainable careers as artists. We see that a lot with the television shows that um, I don't really want to take away from someone's talent or the credit that they receive if they're great singers. But a great singer is not necessarily a good entertainer. And not all good entertainers or good performers are great singers. And so I want you to understand that it's that combination of really having a unique thumbprint, of being somebody that kind of stands out instead of somebody who sounds like everybody else. I think a lot of people spend time wanting to sound like somebody else. You need to be you. You need to be uniquely yourself and hone your skills and make sure that you're working on your voice, building your sound, building your music, writing your songs, and letting your voice be heard and becoming that artist versus just being a great singer. And there's nothing wrong with being a great singer. I spent a lot of my younger life working in studios and using my voice in commercials and doing all kinds of things because I was a great enough singer to do that. But as an artist, I have a thumbprint. If I sing and the albums that I put out, my voice is distinctive as Jan Smith, the artist, not just a great singer doing other people's stuff. I can put my sound, I can put that Jan Smith thumbprint on anything that I do. So I would definitely tell you that becoming a great artist, if you want to be commercially viable, has credence. You need to make sure that you're developing your sound. And last, what are all the services that we offer at Jan Smith Studios? Vocal coaching is kind of what we're known for, that and artist development. Artist development is a little different from vocal coaching, although it's a part of one and the same. We do help people define their voices and to um, uh, kind of figure out who you are. So helping people define their thumbprint is who we are and what we do. We also develop artists, and what that means is digging in a little deeper, helping people working on their songwriting skills. We do songwriting, we do production. We also, have a few studios where we're making records and have people who are making great records and are charting. I'm very proud of some of our artists recently who have been able to have singles on the radio and are streaming very well. We are doing online lessons right now because everybody's at home and because of COVID. It's going to be a process of getting people back into the studio. We'll figure all that out. But we appreciate you being online with us, and I'm going to continue to do everything that I can do to bring you information. So please hit us up at admin, ADMIN, at jansmith.com, and we will answer your questions, and we'll also get back to you as quick as we can. We're not in the office right now, but we will be checking those messages, and got great people helping to do all of this stuff and return the emails. So we're working as fast as we can. I have a great staff, y'all. I've got great people on staff at Jan Smith Studios, and my coaches are incredible people. My producers are great, And we really, really loved what we do. We love working with you. So if we can help you, please let us. Give us a shout at admin@jansmith.com. And thank you for tuning in tonight. I promise I'll be better at this next time. And hey, you got to see Justin Bieber, so that's not too shabby for the first time out. We'll see you next time. Ta ta.